And we're live. Hi, everybody. I just, 15 seconds before it told me I had to go live, I realized that I didn't have a snake in my hand. So I ran over and grabbed the Sundance Kid really fast. I probably startled him, but he's okay. Can everybody hear me? I'm going to guess that everybody can hear me because I know that my sound is on. Hold on, I better check. Yeah, I know that my sound is on. So, but it also takes a minute for comments to start coming in. Oh, good. Stevie says, sounds good. That's great. Hi, everybody. Bunch of people in already. David was in at 2 p.m. Might still be here. Miriam's here. Q, hi there. Laughing Bones. Gary's TNA Exotics. Peace Pythons is here. Bunch of my Patreon folks are here. Watch Your Scales is in. Trey, Stevie, Stephen Porter, D&K Reptiles. Hi, guys. Fizzy's in. Erica's here. Erica's driving. I knew that already, though. Paul Seibel's in. Hey, Paul. Tara's here. Let's see. Fizzy. Jennifer Lyle. Hi there. Kathy. So many people. All right. Sarah. Okay, I gotta skip through. Clint is in, you guys. Black Box Cages is here. That's great. Hi, you guys. It could be Jennifer too. I assume it's Clint though. It's usually Clint when Black Box is in. All right. All right. There's a lot of people saying hi, and I appreciate that. Let's get to this. So I've got the Sundance Kid here. He's doing okay. He's trying to get up to my hat, I guess. Just give him a little boost. And I'm wearing this particular hat because I said that I probably wouldn't wear this in the little short video that I made earlier today that was advertising this thing. Hey, don't crawl on the mic. And then Amy Bentley triple dog dared me to wear it. And you can't pass up a triple dog dare. So here we are. Hey, dude, you're a little bit too heavy to get on the mic. So here's what I'm drinking. I'm not drinking it yet, but I will be in 1 second. I'm drinking my favorite Irish whiskey. It's Redbreast, and I got it the other day. I was driving back from Oregon, and when you hit Northern California, there's a little town called Eureka or Yucaipa, or I think it's Eureka. Anyway, they have a liquor store that sells very cheap liquor. I'm guessing it's because people in Oregon maybe cross the border to buy liquor. So anyway, I take advantage of that. And Redbreast is my favorite Irish. It's a little more expensive than I like to pay. So I take advantage if I can get it cheaper. And also, look at this. It came with a bird feeder. Like the bottle was in this, and this is a bird feeder. So I had a lot of choices, and I landed on getting the Redbreast because I haven't had a bottle of that in a while, and it came with a bird feeder. So that's that story. Michelle is confirming that it is Eureka. I thought it was. Or maybe it starts with a Y. There is a Eureka also, but what's the one that starts with a Y? Little tiny small town. I think I'm talking about one that starts with a Y. Somebody say it. So I was performing at a festival in Oregon for the last 3 weekends. I drove up, and then I flew home in between weekends the first week, and then I drove to Seattle in between weekends the second week. So I've been gone for a week and a half. I watched my son graduate. Look at this. My son graduated with a master's degree and look at all of his academic honors and stuff. Tons of academic honors with a master's degree in criminal justice, and he's headed to Cincinnati for his PhD in criminal justice. Proud of that guy. So I went and saw him graduate up in Seattle and hung out up there. And then I just drove back. I got home yesterday, and I've been crazy busy just taking care of snakes and catching up on stuff. Lucy, though, my snake babysitter, who many of you have met on videos and such, did a fantastic job. She's so good with the snakes. Like, she's 14 years old, and when she's here, if I can, I jump on the camera. I put cameras all over the house, so I'll jump on and I can talk to her through my camera in case she has any questions. And like, she was about to change Maya's water dish. She basically comes in and spot cleans and changes waters every 4 days when I'm gone. And she was about to change Maya's thing. Maya is my black-headed python, who is a little unpredictable when she's in food mode. And I told Lucy, I said, now be careful when, make sure you have the hook when you get Maya. And I'm saying that as she's opening Maya's enclosure, and she gets her with a hook, and Maya immediately wraps her hand like with her tail. And she goes, yeah, she's constricting me, so she thinks I'm food, but that's okay. I'm thawing out a quail. I'm going to feed her in a few minutes anyway. So like, she's got it totally handled, and isn't bothered if a snake is constricting her hand and thinking she's food. She did very well. And then she went to clean out or change waters in Stella's enclosure, the super dwarf. And Stella immediately comes out and is just crawling all over her, crawling around her head, and all, like, I can just see Stella swimming all over her as Lucy is just kind of ignoring it and handling her stuff, going to the sink and doing her thing. It's great. She's a very good intuitive snake handler. It's always fun to watch. All right, what do we got for? Oh, everybody's telling Brandon congratulations. It's not Yakima. That's not the word I'm looking for. Yakima is a little town in Washington. Oh, it is Eureka, but with a Y. That's what it is. Okay. Thanks, you guys. It is Eureka, but with a Y. Yes. A bunch of you said it. Okay. Thanks for clearing that up. Not with a E or a U. Hey, can you not do that? You know what? I'm going to take you off the hat because this is a little ridiculous. Or I'll leave you there. Okay. Everybody's telling Brandon congratulations. That's nice. Okay. So you're too heavy for that, pal. Let me just get a handle on him. And then, so anyway, this is, these last 3 weekends have been part of a 6-week in a row run of shows that I'm doing at festivals for 6 weekends. And last Sunday, I did my 39th show of 45 shows. So I will, at the end of the 6 weeks, I will have done 45 shows, which is a lot, but it's fun. So next week is the last weekend, and then I have a couple weeks off before I go and do more. Couple updates. I woke up this morning to a reminder on my calendar that Molly Malone's due date is around today. So I opened her tub, and she was laying slugs. It was a bummer. Slugs, for those who don't know, are infertile eggs. They look like this. That is a slug from Molly Malone. She laid 4 of them. How do we know they're infertile? Well, they're kind of small and yellow rather than big, thick, and plump. So that was kind of a bummer. I knew that she wasn't thick. She wasn't really big. I knew she was gravid, but she just wasn't very big. And So it makes sense that she had 4 slugs in there rather than 6 or 8 large eggs, because she would have been much bigger. So that's disappointing, but it's okay. She will bounce back quickly because, producing slugs and then just having 4 slugs and laying 4 slugs didn't take nearly as much out of her as it would have had she had a full clutch of fertile eggs. It would have taken a lot out of her to produce those eggs, and taken a lot out of her to lay the eggs. So right now she's doing fine. She only lost a couple 100 grams from, if I take out the weight of the slugs, she only lost a couple 100 grams over the last 4 months of not eating. Basically, I think 3 months ago was her last meal. So she'll be back on food. Maybe tomorrow. I might try and feed her tomorrow, and she'll be back to normal in no time, and we'll try again next year. So that's kind of a bummer. That happens sometimes. Sometimes you get really good clutches of a bunch of fertile eggs, and sometimes you get slugs, and sometimes an egg goes moldy and dies, which is what happened to one of Lydia Dietz's eggs that's in the incubator right now. It was starting to go bad, and I did what I could to help it out before I left, but by the time I got back and checked on it yesterday, it was completely moldy. So I got rid of it and made sure that it didn't affect any of the other eggs. So that happens too. Lydia gave me 8 eggs, so now we're down to 7 good ones, and the other 7 look great. So that's that. I've got 7 from Lydia Dietz, and I think 9 from Lucille. Suda, this is very close. This is cinnamon, which is super close to black pastel. The Sundance Kid is cinnamon, het, sunset, het, clown. So I got him because of his hets. I was looking for a het sunset and found one that was also het clown, which is kind of cool. And I like cinnamon. So that's, let's see if Molly Malone is, I'll show you if she's out. She was out last time I checked on her. Hi, Mama. So she is, do you want to go cruise around, buddy? I'm going to let him go so that I can deal with Molly Malone. You know what, pal? Go this way. Let's do this. All right. Move this. Put you over here. You all don't mind waiting, right? There we go. There's that boy right there. I can show you his situation. We'll get to Molly Malone. So there is the Sundance Kid going into a hide. My guess is he'll go on that hide and maybe come right back out. Or maybe not. We'll see. So Molly is not super skinny. I mean, she's thinner, but she's not super skinny like my other 2 girls who recently laid big, giant clutches of eggs where they were just skin and bones and you could see their ribs. I'm not as worried about Molly. She is thin, but not. It didn't take everything out of her. So she is she's doing good. And it's nice that I can hang out with her again. You know, I don't want to hang out too long with her. I kind of want her to still relax in her tub, but I wanted to show her. I think she's doing just fine after that. Let's look at there we go. Look at that view. Now we can see both at the same time. We'll see what Kid does. Looks like he's popping back out. All right, there goes Molly. Back in her thing. Okay, so here's what's happening, you guys. let's see. Hold on. Okay. We got a long live stream today, I think, because I've got a ton of Q&A questions from Patreon. Last time I asked Patreon for their questions like a day before the live stream, and then I cut it off early, so we only had a couple pages. And this time I asked for it earlier than that. So I've got a lot of Q&A questions, but they're good ones. So we're going to get through those. And did the kid yawn and I missed it? Dang it. Hey, don't go there, buddy. Will you go the other direction so that the camera can see you? Excuse me. Boop, boop. Can you go? Thank you. Go that way. Thanks, pal. Yeah, just go in there. Go in there and restart. Okay. Mom's in. Hi, Mom. Yes, Mom. You can send me appetizers, cookies, and maybe skip the chocolate milk. But you can send... Maybe skip the cookies too. I'm getting a little heavy. You can send appetizers. those won't affect my weight. Glad you're in, Mom. Everybody's saying hi. Birdie's asking how handsome Dan is. He's doing great. I might bring him out. He ate yesterday, but he had a small meal, so he's probably okay to come out. I might bring him out in a bit. But let's, you know what I love about these live streams is that once I get to doing the Patreon questions and I'm asking the questions, you guys all have your own conversations. You're like a little community in the chat, and people are asking questions and other people are answering those questions. And I love it. It's great. And here's a super chat. First super chat of the day from Maidenless Minkfoot. I love that name. Thanks for the super chat. You said you spot clean every 4 days, but what you look for? My girl only poops every 2 to 3 weeks. Are you cleaning urates? Yeah, I spot clean every day. But when I'm out of town, I have my snake babysitter come in every 4 days, and she spot cleans and changes water. But yes, I'm looking for urates. Urates is usually what I find. I have 20, 25, 26 snakes. So about every day or every other day, I might be finding a poop in there also. But yeah, it's urates, it's sheds, it's just checking on the snake, making sure they didn't spill, dump a whole bunch of water, and I gotta pull out, sopping wet substrate, stuff like that. I check on them when I'm home. I'm checking on them once or twice a day, but at least once. Okay, thanks for that super chat. So that's the deal for those of you who are new in here, is that I will miss most of the comments in the comment section. I'll try to answer them if I happen to see it. And if you super chat, though, I will see it. And if I don't see it, somebody will alert me. I don't know if Amy is in, but somebody will alert me. Erica won't because she's driving. But here's a great example. Tara just super chatted. Thanks for the super chat, Tara. And it's so bright, and I saw it. Like, no problem. So somehow I missed it. But what you actually do at the Ren festivals, what kind of performance? RenFests are one of my favorite things. I have so many outfits. Yeah, so I created a show. I'm a stand-up comic, and I created a comedy show where it's an in-character comedy show, and I juggle dangerous things, flaming battle axes and flaming chainsaw blades and stuff like that. In fact, look at this. Let's see, how do I show this picture? So we had it was raining like crazy last Sunday in Oregon, and we had a lightning evacuation. So half of the festival evacuated into this it's a barn, but it's where they have rodeos. So it's like a big rodeo arena. And somebody took a picture of me because I just started doing a show for the people. Somebody took a picture of me starting to light up flaming battle axes. So that was kind of fun because it was just like a show in the round. I didn't have a stage to stand on or anything. So it was a cool different show to do for the folks. Just play around and throw fire, and they appreciated it because they were all bored during the evacuation anyway. And the evacuation only lasted like half an hour, 45 minutes, and then they were back. And they were back to it. So the Sundance Kid is now checking out another hide. This is what they tend to do. They like to check every hide. In fact, I think I missed it because he was in this one right here first, and then he crawled in that one, and I missed it. And now he's in that one. He's just going to check them all out, which is what they often do. I think they smell other snakes in there, you know, like there's no pee or anything like that in there, but I think they can tell that other snakes have been in there, and it's probably like a dog. They just want to check it out and see what's going on in there. So did I miss any? Okay. Anyway, Tara, thank you for that super chat. Birdie, I don't do the East Coast. I do pretty much West Coast only. I was doing Texas. I was doing Texas Ren Fair every year, but I don't do that anymore. I go out to Utah, but otherwise I'm staying on the West Coast. So where are we at on this? Got that stuff done. We're going to start questions here shortly. Oh, you guys, look what people sent me. So today I got this. Look at these. So Wendy Williams, who is a Patreon supporter, sent me, look at these little, here, let me put the ones that are still in the packages. They're little snake bookmarks. How cool are these? So I had a notification that there was something in my mail, and it was these little snake bookmarks. I love it. I love it. So cool. Thanks, Wendy. And then earlier, a couple weeks ago, I got from Julia and Petra. They sent, hold on a second. They are also Patreon supporters. So Julia made me this little ball python art, and she drew the logo, which is so cool, and wrote me a nice letter. And her mom, Petra, made me this. Wait, where did it go? Did it fall on the ground? I had it. Oh, it did fall on the ground. So let me explain. Last live stream, if you were with me last live stream, somebody asked if Kent ever had a pet. And I said, yes, Kent did have a pet once. He had a pet rock in the 80s, but it dropped and fell on his toe and hurt him. So the pet rock had to be rehomed. So after that live stream, Petra made me, or made Kent, knitted Kent, a pet rock. This is a knitted pet rock that is guaranteed not to be able to hurt Kent. And Kent was very happy to have this new pet. This is really a pet. This and a puppet snake are pets that Kent is not afraid of. Were this a real rock of this size, I think he'd be nervous about it. So thank you, Petra and Julia, for those gifts. It's always fun to receive things in the mail. Okay. Tomorrow I'm doing, do you guys watch or listen to Snakes and the Fat Man? You guys listen to that podcast? It's on YouTube now as well, but I'm doing Snakes and the Fat Man tomorrow. I'm being interviewed for, like, we're doing the interview tomorrow. I don't know when it's going to actually run. So if you listen to that, you'll hear me on it. I'm excited to talk to Chris. He's a cool guy. That show is not a family show. Just so you know, if you're used to bringing the kids around and watching Green Room Pythons with the kids, Snakes and the Fat Man is not a show to watch with the kids, depending on what you let your kids watch, I guess. All right. But it's a good show. Okay, let's go. Let's get to the questions. Let's start with Erica's question first. Hey, Bob, 2 questions. It's not 2 questions, though. It ends up being 4 questions. So bad math, Erica. Hey, Bob, 2 questions. One, all my juvenile snakes seem to shed around the same time per species. Have you noticed this? I do notice this, but I don't think that I notice it because they sync up their sheds. I think that it's one of those situations where we notice it when it happens, but then all the other times that it doesn't happen, it's not remarkable, so we don't think about it. It's like when you buy a new car and then all of a sudden you notice that car on the road. You notice that everybody else has that car because it's relevant. So Lucy pulled 5 sheds out of tubs on Saturday last week. And I was thinking, wow, that's a lot of sheds at the same time. But it doesn't always happen that way. So, you know. Second, are there any new genes that you're trying to incorporate into your collection? Not really, because I feel like I have too many genes, too many morphs within the ball pythons as it is. Although I'm excited to work on the sunset situation that I have. I don't want to even say that I have a sunset project because I have 2 snakes. I've got the snake that you're watching right now, the Sundance Kid, and Evie, who are both het sunset, and I'm hoping to produce a sunset next season when I pair them up. You know, Evie was I've said in videos before that Evie is my worst eater. She went a very long time just hardly eating, you know, 1 meal every 4 to 6 weeks, maybe. Maybe she'll skip 2 months and then have a meal and skip a month and a half and have a meal for a long time. Like for over a year, she was like that. And now she is eating everything I give her. And she just passed 1,500 grams, which is great. I'm going to continue feeding her until, until hopefully she's gravid and stops eating. But I will start pairing her with the Sundance Kid in, sometime at the end of the year, like sometime after Thanksgiving or something like that. And so I'm excited about that. I'm glad that she is into eating now because she wasn't for a long time. Okay. I'm going really slow with these questions, you guys, and I'm going to speed it up because otherwise we'll be here till midnight my time, which is, way later for a lot of you, or way earlier. Where am I at? And she says, and in relation to that question, did you sell Ben or are you keeping him? So I'll catch you all up. I responded to that question immediately because she had expressed interest in Ben if he didn't sell. So Ben is, you'll get to see Ben in a little bit. Ben is a snake that I decided to rehome. And because I don't have the room, he was one that I was going to hold back and then decided that I can't because I just don't have the room. And so anybody that buys a snake from me is on Patreon. I talk to Patreon first when a snake is available, whether it's a clutch or a snake like Ben. And so anyway, I told Erica, no, he's not, he hasn't sold yet. And she said, I'll take him. So Erica is going to be here in like half an hour to pick up Ben. So you guys will see that. I'm very excited. She's going to pop in. She'll say hello on the live stream. You'll get to see Ben. And I'm really glad that Erica is taking that snake because I know Erica. I know that she's a great keeper. And I love Ben. He's fantastic. He's a great snake. So he's going to a good home. And that makes me happy. I would pull him out, but we're going to pull him out anyway when Erica's here. So we'll just wait on that one. Tyler, congrats on your Colombian red-tailed boa. That's great. Congrats. That's amazing. Boas are great. Wait, what happened here? Okay. And then, all right, so now, fourth question out of 2 from Erica, by the way. Another question. Are you going to be at Repticon and or the Reptile Super Show? Yeah, July 8th and 9th is the Reptile Super Show in Anaheim, and I believe I'm in town for that. And I usually go to those if I'm in town. This one, I think I've always had a festival that weekend. I don't know that I've ever been to this one in Anaheim because I always have a festival, but I don't this time. So I think I'll be there. July 8th and 9th, Anaheim Reptile Show. Look for me on Saturday. Maybe both days, but probably Saturday. If you're going to that. All right. Stevie asks, kind of a follow-up to the surprise clutch video, what do you do with brand new hatchlings? Well, brand new hatchlings get set up. I have a few videos that show this, but this is my hatchling rack that has nothing in it right now. It's a completely empty rack, but they get set up in their own little tubs. They get, well, first of all, brand new hatchlings hatch out of eggs. They all get put in one tub with a wet paper towel until they shed. And then once they shed, they each get their own little tub with a couple little hides. Baby snakes are very comfortable in a small environment like that because their only concern is predators. They just don't want to be eaten. They don't care about food. They don't care about water. I mean, you offer them water and I'm sure they'll drink it, but they don't care about anything except hiding from predators. So that's how they get set up. Okay, I'm gonna switch back to just me, and I'll put it back on the Sundance Kid if we see him doing anything interesting. And I'll put more snakes on there and we'll see what they do too as we go. Robert Belowski says, what happens behind the scenes in Hollywood to get snakes on camera? What was the most wild snake infested set you've been on? That's a good question. So I don't usually work with snakes on camera. I have occasionally been hired to basically make sure that an outdoor set is safe for rattlesnakes. People in Hollywood that know me as an actor, they also know that I'm a snake guy. And there is one locations manager that I'm friends with and live next door to, who hires me to check for rattlesnakes, which is such a great gig because basically I get paid a really ridiculous day wage to go herping, which is what I want to do anyway all the time. It's fantastic. But I will say I did work as an actor on a terrible movie that had a scene where we had to run through a gauntlet of rattlesnakes. And we were told, this was years ago. This was probably 15 years ago. And we were told that the rattlesnakes had been de-venomed. And I doubt that's true, but none of them struck. Like as we ran through this gauntlet, they all just stayed. They were clearly not bothered by us at all. And Gary Coleman was in this video. Different Strokes, anybody remember Gary Coleman? Gary was in this video and he was super mad because he was not told before taking the role that there would be snakes. He threw a fit, and it was a memorable fit that happened when we were all in a van together. So, and then unfortunately, not long after that movie was filmed, Gary died. So, I worked with him on his very last film before he died. The circumstances around his death were mysterious. That's all I'll say about that. If you want to ask me in private about that, I will tell you what I think happened, but I won't say it in public. So, the official story is that he slipped in the kitchen and hit his head on the counter and then died. That's the official story. It was too bad. Yes, Clint, location manager I live next to. Does that mean he's really good at his job? Yes, he's good at finding a living location and finding. So a locations manager, for those who don't know, in TV and film, is the person who goes and finds the locations for filming. If you're not filming on a set, like on a studio lot, they go out and handle renting the place or renting the land or doing whatever. And if it is land that the commercial or TV show or movie or whatever is filming on, then they're also further in charge of hiring like safety people, people that, somebody to wander around and make sure there's not rattlesnakes in the area, stuff like that. Not Splash One, thanks for the super chat. It just says beard. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. And that super chat came out to $2.79 for the beard. So that $2.79 will go towards beard oil. I appreciate that. Okay. And I don't think I've missed any super chats. Am I right about that? Yeah, I think I am. All right. Somebody let me know if I miss a super chat. Okay. Do you remember when I said I was going to go faster on these questions? I'm still committed to that, and it will happen. Here we go. It just hasn't happened yet. Here we go. What's the funniest? This is from Fizzy over on Patreon. What is the funniest, cutest thing one of your snakes has done? You know what? I can't tell you the one cutest thing, but I can show you a thing that just happened. This is something that I caught Stella. Anytime I'm working in Stella's enclosure, Stella is one of my super dwarf reticulated pythons, and I'll bring her out in a minute. Actually, we can bring out Stella. So let me just show you. How do I get this? Anytime I'm cleaning her enclosures, if she's in the enclosure while I'm doing whatever I'm doing, she's following my hand around, making sure that just watching everything I do. If I've let her out, she keeps an eye on me and what I'm doing all the time. But she kind of does her own thing. But if I'm working in her cage, when I let her out, she keeps an eye on me. Here's a little 7-second video. So there I am. I've cleared out her stuff, and that is where she is the whole time, all the time. Let's just see it one more time. So for the 20 minutes or so that it takes me to clean the cage, that's her position. Just watching, making sure I'm doing it right. And it always makes me laugh. Let's get back to this really quick. Okay. This is a good question, Fizzy. Thanks for that. Hayden says, what size and confident level did you start letting your retics free roam? Retics are generally confident snakes. I mean, every snake is an individual, but they come out of the egg pretty confident a lot of times. And maybe not right out of the egg, but you get it. It doesn't take them long to gain confidence. And they are little buggers right out of the egg. The super dwarves are anyway. But I let them, I mean, my snakes cruised around this ladder when they were very little and had a great time. I have a mirror. So this ledge right here, this is a Mag Naturals ledge. And this was at the very top near the ceiling. That's kind of where it was located because they wanted to sit as high up as they could. And I couldn't see them. Like if I was sitting on the couch or something, I wanted to be able to look up and make sure they were still in the spot. But they were so little that they could sit on that ledge and I couldn't see them up there. So I put a mirror on the ceiling right above the ladder so that I could look up at the mirror and see the top of the ledge because they were so tiny. Now that mirror is not useful at all because I can always see them when they're on the ledge. And plus I've moved the ledge to this spot. Hold on. Look at this guy. He's checking out the camera, but he wasn't on the lens. I thought we were going to see his face on the lens. All right. I think I'm going to have to move him. Maybe not. He's about to crawl on the camera that is currently filming me, and I don't want him to knock it over. Let me do that. Let me just redirect him really quick. Hey, buddy. Can I recommend a different situation for you? How about that? Let's see what you do. Probably go right back to where he was. Okay. See where we're at here. Peace Pythons, who is in right now, I believe. Could you touch on your plant care routine? I've been having trouble with some plants dying in my bioactives recently. Yes, I am not a plant expert, and I learn as I go. I love plants, and I have lots of them. These plants in here, just if the humidity isn't too high already in the Bioactive, which sometimes it is, I will just, when I change waters, I just dump the water in there. And the substrate that I use holds water really well. I don't have a drainage layer. It's it keeps sort of the surface dry and moisture underneath. And the plants generally do well. If they don't do well, it's because the inspector has killed them for some reason. So that's really all I do. My other plants, I just water them. If I'm having trouble with a plant, I usually call my mom. So that's my recommendation. If you're having trouble, call your mom or call my mom. I'll put her phone number on the screen. And no, I won't. Mom, you can put your phone number on the screen if you want. You can post your phone number if you want all these people to call you when they're having plant problems. My mom is good with my mom. I wouldn't say she's a plant expert, but she's very good with plants, and she's good at experimenting and researching stuff and finding things out. So when I don't have time to figure out what's going on with my plant, my mom usually can figure something out or give me suggestions of things to do. So where are we at? Oh, you guys, we're almost done with page 1. We're clipping along here at quite a pace. Julia. So this is Julia, it's actually Petra. Probably not Julia asking the question. This is probably the mom, Petra. Our ball python just shed. Just before it sheds, his tummy turns pink, which they all do. That's normal for snakes. Why is that? So she's asking the science behind it. Not saying that her snake is unique in that situation. Just why does that happen to all snakes? And I looked it up to see if I can find a definitive reason, and I couldn't find it. But my thought has always been that it's probably blood vessel situation. It's probably blood going to that area. But it's not even just the belly, because if you have a white snake or a pied, you'll notice that they turn pink a lot of times all over their body. It's more pink on their belly, but it's still also on their head and neck and everything else. And that's probably blood vessels. And the reason I say that is if you watch a snake eat, you can see that under their neck where it's white, or if you have a white snake all over their neck, will turn pink, and that's blood vessel. But the other thought is that maybe that fluid, there's fluid in between the old skin and the new skin, and it's possible that fluid is pinkish, and maybe that's it. But I tend to think it's probably the blood. Does anybody know? If you know what the answer is, tell us. What's the actual real science? I just saw that Amy's in. Amy's in, you guys. Not BH. I mean, BH is in also, but that's not what I meant to hit. Amy is here. Hi, everybody. Miss you. Amy, great. I'm glad you're here. Let me know if I miss a super chat. Send me a text. Amy's the out-of-town producer of these live streams, because she keeps me on track and lets me know if I miss a super chat. And when she is not able to be here for some reason, because she's a busy person, she appoints someone to be the producer. Oftentimes it's Erica, who should be here pretty soon to pick up her snake. You guys will get to see that. So Amy's excited to see the Sundance Kid. By the way, I should mention that the Sundance Kid, I've mentioned this before, but Lucy, who we were just talking about, that comes in and takes care of my snakes when I'm gone, the Sundance Kid is her favorite snake. And so anytime she comes over, the first thing she does is pull the Sundance Kid out of his cage. So he gets a lot of socialization time when Lucy's here. I used to teach Lucy weekly ukulele lessons, but I don't anymore. So she's not here every week. But her mom, she and her mom come over sometimes to say hi. And the Sundance Kid gets lots of time with his best friend. Autumn, thanks for this super chat. It's really nice. Do you deep clean your bioactive enclosures? If so, could you do a video about it? How often? What do you do? Thank you. No, I'll expand on that. No, I do not, because that could have meant no, I won't do a video on it. But no, you don't have to deep clean a bioactive enclosure unless you have to, unless maybe you get mites in there or there's something wrong with it that requires you to get rid of all the substrate and start over. So a deep clean of a bioactive would just be, making it necessary to start over for some reason. His old bioactive was over 2 years old, and I clean the way I would clean it is he would sit underground on the glass, and I would clean the glass that he would sit on, and I would clean the inside glass, but never change the substrate. But I would add to it because that substrate compacts down, and so I added to it probably 2, maybe 3 times over the course of a year. Just add a bag of, I get substrate from the Bio Dude, and I would just add a bag of it in there. And this one's new, so I clean the hides during cleaning. During a deep clean of all the other cages, the bioactive gets the hides cleaned. If he's sitting on the surface, that gets cleaned, and the doors get cleaned. But that's it. That is it. Because the cleanup crew handles a lot of that. So hang on, Amy's texting me. Did I miss anything? Oh, I did miss something. Hold on. Let me scroll up to. So Autumn, thanks for that super chat. I think there's one before. Okay. Maidenless Minkfoot sent a super chat, and there's probably another one that I missed. What experience level do you recommend for super dwarves? They're my all-time dream species for me. That's great. If they're going to be your first snake and that's your all-time dream species, I'm guessing you've done tons of research, and it's a great first snake. They are, I don't think there's any snake that's a good first snake. So, and what that means is that you just have to be kind of an expert in the species, regardless of what snake you get. There are differences between super dwarves that make them a little bit more challenging, maybe more challenging to handle because they're a little wily and they're always moving, but that's easy to get used to. You've got to get used to their food drive, because sometimes they will think that any heat signature is food, depending on the individual. And, but they also will always eat, and a ball python won't necessarily always eat. So it's a great first snake as long as you do your research, which it sounds like you're doing. I don't see the other super chat. So Amy's saying, hang on. Just got here and been informed that Fizzy sent you a super chat without a question. Thanks for that. Did I not acknowledge that or not see it, Fizzy? But I just answered your other question. It was on Patreon. Maybe I just didn't, huh? Sean Wright sent me a super chat that I missed. Thanks, Sean. I appreciate that. That was without a question. So that would have been the first super chat of the day. I missed the very first one. And then apparently Fizzy sent me one, but I don't see it. So, oh no, there we go. Okay, so Fizzy is saying, not me. Sean sent a super chat. Yes, okay. And we just acknowledged that. That's great. We're good. And then there was a question that Amy saw that I missed. It says, do slug eggs decompose, or can they be used as decor, like a paperweight or something? So these will decompose. These slug eggs, those will decompose, and so I'm going to throw them away. But I kept them because I wanted to show you guys that's what slug eggs look like. Mom, I don't know if you were in when I talked about this, but these are from Molly Malone. This was her clutch this year. which was kind of a bummer, but that's okay. We're looking toward next year. So those will be thrown away. I tried to feed one to Maya because Maya is a black-headed python. They eat eggs sometimes, and I've seen other people feed their black-headed python eggs, or slugs, and they eat them. I tried when Damara gave me a clutch of slugs 2 years ago. I tried to feed one, or maybe it wasn't Damara's clutch. It was a slug that I got from some clutch. I can't remember what it was, but I tried to give a slug to Maya, and she was scared of it. I've never seen Maya afraid of anything, but she tongue flicked on it and recoiled and ran away. And I was like, wow, that's weird. Probably just a fluke. So I threw that away and didn't worry about it. But then this morning, I tried to feed her one of Molly's slug eggs, and she reacted the same way. It's the only 2 times that I've ever seen Maya be afraid of anything, but it made her run away. So I'm not going to offer her slugs anymore. You guys, Taylor's here. Hi, Taylor. Glad you're here. So many people are here. Oh, hold on. I think I just missed a super chat. Or did I get that one? Here we go. Do you recommend Bioactive for green tree pythons or clean and minimal? I've seen both. You know, I don't keep green tree pythons, but if I did, I would go minimalistic. But that is my experienced take on it. I know that people are very successful doing minimalistic enclosures for green tree pythons. And for me, because I haven't kept one before and they are touchier than other animals, I want to do everything as simple and easy as I can so that I know exactly what's going on in that cage. But for people who can keep green tree pythons in a bioactive, I think it's really cool. It's amazing. I just wouldn't want to do that right off the bat until I really knew what I was doing. Thanks for that. Thanks for that super chat, Landon. So now I'm just not a good person to speak on green tree python husbandry, but that's what I would do. Mr. and Mrs. Morelia, catching your live stream for the first time. Just want to say hi to Handsome Dan. Oh, that's cool. I'll bring Handsome Dan out in a minute. I'm glad you're here, Mr. and Mrs. Morelia. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Jennifer Lyle, thanks for the super chat. Bob, if you do one Patreon question for each super chat question, you might not be up until midnight. Might. You're right. It's true. You're right, Jennifer. It's true. One more. I'm just going to finish these, though. Mainless Minkfoot is asking, have I ever thought of posting live audios on Spotify? No, I have thought about doing a podcast, although I probably won't anytime soon, but I have thought about it. So we'll see. Oh, you guys can't see what the kid is doing. I'll give you that view if he comes back into camera's view. All right, let me just grab Handsome Dan because a couple people asked about him. He did eat yesterday, but it was a small meal, and I think he's fine. And then let's see, did we get? We're on page 2 of this Q&A. Okay, hold on one second. Tell you what, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put the Sundance Kid away so that we can get another snake or two up on the thing. Say goodbye to the Sundance Kid. He's gonna head back. Okay, buddy. Go. Handsome Dan, everybody. The unofficial mascot of Green Room Pythons, the Central American boa. This takes me back to when my mom was, who's still in, I think. Mom, are you still watching? My mom was the troop leader of my sister's Girl Scout troop when we were very little. And I didn't like that I wasn't getting attention during those meetings. I was little. I was like 17. No, I'm kidding. I don't know how old I was, 4 or 5, something like that. 6, I don't know. But anyway, my mom had the brilliant idea of making me the mascot of the Girl Scout troop so that I could hang out and be involved. So that's kind of what we're doing for Handsome Dan. He's a boa, but we're going to make him the mascot of Green Room Python so that he can hang out. He likes to be on my hat. Some of you might remember last time Handsome Dan fell off my hat with a thud. He didn't have far to fall and he was fine, but he did fall. So I'm going to be careful with him this time. Although I think this is the brim of this hat is a little bit safer for him because it's got a curved lip. So we'll just see what he does here. And I will try to answer a question. Artful Jackalope asks, my house is kept pretty cool. If I'm looking at setting up playpens and roaming areas for my ball python, how much should I worry about heat? And are there any tips and tricks for heating non-enclosure spaces? That is a great question. Oh, look at Handsome Dan being a hat band. That's a great question from Artful Jackalope, who by the way, I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons with right now weekly over on Discord. We have a Patreon only Dungeons and Dragons game going, and Artful Jackalope is in that, as is Amy Bentley and that hot librarian and some other people. What was her question though? Tips and tricks. Yes. So to answer that question, the house, yeah. So my house is a little bit warmer. I keep it at 76 to 78 usually, but a snake is normally okay. Like they don't have to, unless they're digesting a meal, they don't need to be at 90 degrees, and they can also be in the mid 70s is fine. Even low 70s for a little while is fine for a ball python. So it's not like if they're sitting under 80 degrees, they're gonna start to stress and go downhill. It's not like that. So they can be out for a little while. You could put if it's a playpen, I guess you could put a heat mat under the playpen that's on a thermostat. You could maybe have one set up that always happens. But I don't think it's that necessary. You could also have a lamp shining down, maybe something like that. I've just never done that really, because the snakes do fine for a little while. I don't ever pull a snake out. So when my snakes free roam, and I'm going to do another video, I might shoot it next week. Actually, I'm going to do another video on free roaming snakes because I've had a lot of interest from TikTok and Instagram of people just like non-snake owners just going crazy when they see it, but also people who are snake keepers and they go, oh, I want to do that too. And I don't know that they understand the whole situation. So I want to put another video out on free roaming snakes. But my point is that when I free roam a snake, I'm never pulling them off their warm side hide to do that. Anytime I pull a snake out, except for in these live streams, because I'm just getting whatever snake you guys ask for. But normally I wake up in the morning and I see who's up and moving around in the front of their enclosure. So they're already on the cool side of their enclosure. They're already awake and moving. That's a good candidate for coming out and free roaming. I'm never yanking a snake off their warm end to come out into the room in free roam. So I always figure even if they're not digesting, they're on their warm side for a reason. They want to be a little warmer. So that's cool. Let me catch up on a couple super chats. Let's make sure I didn't miss any. There we go. Let's get back down to. So Handsome Dan has attached the microphone thing to my hat. At this point, we're attached. Great. Taylor Alexis, thank you for the super chat. You're very sweet. Sending love from the menagerie here. I love that menagerie. Love those little horses. They're so cool. We're trying not to melt in this Texas heat. Little Tex the pony got a haircut. Oh my gosh, he got shaved. Is that something you do for ponies to keep the heat away? And been enjoying his Guinness and Gatorade during this heat wave. Wait, you're giving your pony Guinness and Gatorade? Are you mixing Gatorade and Guinness beer and giving it to your pony? Because if you are, I'm all for it. I think that's fantastic. I need an explanation here, Taylor. I think your other horse's name might be Guinness, though. That might be what you're talking about. Maidenless Minkfoot. When quarantining a snake, can the quarantine room be connected? I live in a studio apartment. Yeah. I mean, my quarantine room is connected. Ideally, your quarantine room would be on the other side of your big giant house. But if you are like me and don't have a big giant house, you do what you can. Some people in a studio apartment make the quarantine area the other side of the room. That's not ideal, but if that's what you got, then that's what you got. You just want to try to keep the snake as far away from the other snakes as possible, and really watch for signs of mites, because if you've got your quarantine snake just on the other side of the room, it won't take long for mites to travel to your other snakes. But if you catch it in time, you should be good. Thanks for that. Thanks for that super chat. Hold on. Taylor, is that true? So you're literally giving your horse Guinness beer and that helps him sweat? That's the craziest thing I've ever heard of. Here's what's happening to me, you guys, right now. Thanks for that super chat, Taylor, by the way. Oh, that's right. Whiskey is the name of your other horse. That's so funny. I knew it was some sort of alcoholic beverage. That's right. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard of. Here's what's happening to me right now. So now that I've acknowledged that Handsome Dan has attached me to the microphone and I can't leave, really, I mean, I guess I could take my hat off and leave. Now I'm so thirsty and I need water really bad, but I can't get up and go. Let's see what happens if I just, hey, pal, what if, oh, you know what? I bet I could just put you on the mic. See, I'm not worried about his weight being on the mic. This is a 1-year-old snake, by the way, you guys. Handsome Dan. He's not very big, but he is a year old. He turned a year old about a week ago. Let's get him around the brim of my hat so I can get up and get some water before I die. Okay. Let me answer another question while this is happening. Allison asks, could you schedule a snake tour soon to introduce your lesser seen snakes? Yeah, I could. You could also watch the video featuring our very own Amy Bentley, wherein she introduces every one of my snakes. That's a cool video. But yeah, we could actually do that in a live stream. Like in this live stream, I could pull out snakes that are lesser known. Although a lot of my snakes ate last night because I've been gone for a week and a half. So they're not all available, but I could show some lesser shown snakes. Hold on one second, getting water. All right. Let's do this. I have an idea. Watch this, you guys. The hat is just blocking him. There we go. There we go. All right. Next question. Tim's Reptile Zoo asks, how do you know if you have too many snakes? Is there such a thing as too many snakes? Asking for a friend. Tim, that's so nice of you to be conscious of your friend's potential problem. I would tell your friend that there's no such thing as too many snakes. And your friend should definitely buy whatever snake they want to get. I'm just kidding. He was kidding with his question. But I will say that you really want to be conscious of the potential to get too many snakes. And what happens is you have a full-time job and all of a sudden you start collecting snakes like crazy, and your snake care becomes a full-time job. And a lot of times, because you don't want a second full-time job, a lot of times the care of snakes kind of slides because you might have too many. So that is, I want to say that's when you want to start thinking about rehoming snakes. But if you think about it ahead of time and you just don't get the snakes in the first place, you get to a place where you're comfortable with the care of this many snakes. And you know that if you add more, that's also going to add more time each week and such like that. Problem is that snakes don't take a lot of time each week. So adding one snake is like no big deal. So you just add one, and then you add one more, and you add one more, and all of a sudden you've added 10, and 10 is a bigger deal than one. So that's where it gets tricky. Banana More Pythons. Thanks for that super chat. Did you have a question with that, or were you just... Oh yeah, you just forgot it. Here we go. Forgot the text. Have you heard about Desert Ghost? Will we be getting a polygenic gene video soon? Yes, I have heard about Desert Ghost, but I haven't watched the original video from the what's the guy's name that runs the genetic company that sort of figured this all out. I want to watch his video so that I fully understand it, because it is confusing. This is potentially a polygenic trait, which we don't have in ball pythons. It would be the first one. And it's pretty crazy. I love Desert Ghost, and I've always been like, man, if I'm going to add anything to the group, it would be Desert Ghost. But now I'm like, wait a second, I don't know. Like I want to understand this gene before I don't want to add anything anyway. But if I did, I would definitely want to understand what I'm dealing with in Desert Ghost, because it sounds like a very confusing situation. And so weird that it's taken 15 years. Desert Ghost has been around for like 15 years, maybe. I'm guessing at that, but it's been around for a while. And we're just now figuring out that there is something about that gene that is a little bit crazy and unpredictable. Here comes Erica. Come in. Come in. Hey. Hi there. Hold on. I'm gonna read Amy's super chat really quick. Because I just put it up on the thing. You guys, Erica's here. Come say hi. There's not a lot of space. So hey. Amy says, you've got at least 5 new snakes since my snake video tour. Also 24-hour live stream seems like a perfect opportunity for an updated snake tour. Also, cheers. Yes, Amy, you're right. Totally. Amy's been wanting me to do a 24-hour live stream for maybe to raise money for US ARC. That'd be fun, right?
That would be fun.
Yeah. You want to grab your snake?
Sure.
Third tub from the bottom. And he's probably even out.
Hello. Hi there,
so you guys, Erica is a Patreon supporter, and she got a beautiful snake from me for my last clutch. And
Bobby B is doing great.
Yeah, her name's Bobby B, yep. Right? Yeah. And then what's his name going to be?
I'm going to keep it Ben.
You're going to keep it Ben?
Yeah, I don't have a Ben yet.
All right. Like well, the full name is Bengali. Do you know that?
Yes.
From Thundercats?
Right.
Yeah. So he's just the sweetest boy.
Very sweet.
He crawled out of an egg and right onto my hand. Shed in my friend Cherie was here when he was shedding for the first time, and I think Cherie was holding him when he was shedding, when he was doing his first shed, and he's just a cool snake.
Very sweet.
Yeah. So I'm glad that you're taking him, because you'll give him a really good home.
I had to make room. I'm kind of out of room at the moment, but
Really?
I got more racks on the way. So
All right,
yeah, but
good.
he's got his own little quarantine area set up. So
Good. He'll be a happy boy. Here, hold on. My mom says hi. Look at
hi,
Mom's saying hi to you.
Hi, Mom.
All right, and so is everybody else saying hi. See?
A cute shirt. Thank you.
Yeah.
Picked it out just for today. Amazon find.
Look at all these hi Ericas.
She's
Um,
popular.
You're super popular. Yeah. That's great. Here, let's put Ben up to the camera. See if it'll focus on his face. Can you turn him to? Will it focus on him? Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, look at that boy. He's so cool. He's, his mom is Freya, and it's trying to focus on my hand, on my face. His mom is Freya, and Freya has the best calico and gives the best calico to her babies. So Ben is Calico Orange Dream. Freya is also Orange Dream, and you can't see it in her. You would never know by looking at her, but she gives a really nice Orange Dream to her babies, and also Inchy. So he's Inchy Calico Orange Dream. He's lovely.
He is.
Yeah. So that bag is his.
That's me.
That
Okay.
little envelope that says Erica is also for you because it has your name on it.
Really?
And that's his little snake bag. I went to put him in a plastic container. He's too big. He's too big for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way,
okay.
He is 595 grams. I've kept him on a small, I think I'm feeding him every 10 days, and he's never had a small rat. He's only had weaned. He's obviously big enough for a small rat.
Yeah.
And he did eat. I fed him last night because he hadn't eaten in a week and a half because I've been gone.
Okay. Fine. I fed last night too.
Okay. So, but he got a small weaned rat. So it was a small one in the bag. So, he'll be ready to eat in 7 days or whatever.
I have to buy some more small rats. There's I hate that there's not much of a difference there's a big difference between weaned rats and small rats.
Yeah.
And then rat pups and weaned rats, there's hardly any
difference. Yeah, it depends on who you get them from, but yeah, that's right. He had almost a rat pup sized weaned last night. So
okay.
All right, hold on. This is Amy telling me that I missed a super chat. See, I was going to have you do this for me, but you've been driving, so
yeah.
But Amy's back.
Keeping an eye on it though, and Amy got them all cut up.
Look, Amy says hi, Erica, in this text. Do you see the super chat from Trey? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I could have got here earlier, but figured we'd let you get everything sorted out. And traffic.
Yeah, no, I'm glad. Oh, I didn't see this one. Trey, sorry, I almost missed this. I'm a little new to the channel. Subscribe to your Patreon. Thank you for that. Thanks for the sub. Your channel has helped a lot. I'm glad. That's great. I'm welcoming a new baby pastel hidden gene Woma. I've named Wasabi. That's fantastic. Congrats, Trey. That's awesome. Congrats on that new snake. I'm glad you're enjoying the channel. And I'm glad that Amy is here to tell me when I miss a super chat, because I've missed several today.
It's been busy with super chats though.
It's been, look at all these. I have so many Patreon questions. They're just all over the place. Do you see that I answered yours?
I did.
And I made fun of you for.
You did make fun of me. I know.
For saying that you had two questions, but then.
Well, it wasn't a separate.
It wasn't a
separate comment.
But it was four. It was four. Yeah.
It was four.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see. Where else we got? So we said Tim's. Oh, Jennifer Lyle was asking, do you still have Molly Malone? Haven't seen her lately, but would love an update. You got the update. I think, Jennifer, were you in? I think Jennifer's in right now. Were you in when I pulled out Molly Malone and talked about her laying slugs? That was a massive Molly Malone update. You're going to see her more. The reason we haven't seen her on the channel is because she's been working on building follicles and building slug eggs. Would you like a tray of slugs?
Yeah, no thanks. I'm hoping mine don't turn into slugs because they're late.
Oh, I hope they don't either.
Okay.
Oh, Jennifer was here. Great. Okay, so your question was answered. That's fantastic. David says, hey, Bob, how long? Let's see. David Carriage. Hey, Bob, how long before the start of breeding season would you stop handling females? Would you apply the same to males? It's I don't even stop handling them before the start of breeding season. It's more when they start, when they start like when it's clear that they have good follicle development and they're starting to do sort of nesting behavior, stuff like that, then I kind of leave them alone. But I still, those mamas, it's not like I'm handling them and moving them around and pulling them out of their cage every day anyway. But if they want to come out and roam around, they can roam around the house. And even when they're gravid, if I see that they want to come out and move around, they can still do that when they're gravid. They're usually nesting and in the back of their tub almost all the time. But if I see them in the front, I'm going to open the cage and let them out. But that doesn't mean that I'm handling them and messing with them. I'm just letting them go somewhere if they want to go somewhere. Here we go. This is from Joe. No, it's not. It's from Alex. It's from Joe's wife, Alex. We really like the idea of opening the enclosure and letting out our ball python. This is great timing for this question. Letting our ball python choose to come out and explore. At what point do you introduce this method and how? She's a very sweet snake, but she hasn't been out much lately and sometimes seems slightly timid. Yeah, it's just, you just open the cage and see what they do. I usually, if it's a new snake, I'm going to open the cage and I'm usually have my hand there, to see if they'll sniff around on my hand or whatever. But if they can go from their cage easily to somewhere else, like a tabletop or something, I'll just let them do that on their own and see if they want to do it. A lot of times they don't want to do it. And even snakes that are used to it, sometimes they want to come out at that time and sometimes they don't. Yesterday, I came home from this trip and Echo wanted to, no, I guess it was this morning. It doesn't matter. But Echo and Stella were both up. Echo wanted to come out right away and Stella didn't. I opened her cage and she stayed in her cage. She hung out and sort of hung her head out of the cage, but she didn't want to come out, which she almost always does. So I just remember that Handsome Dan was out.
I'm watching him.
Thanks.
I was excited to meet him, so I'm glad you pulled him out.
Oh, yeah. So
I love my boas.
That's right. You have a number of boas. How many boas do you have?
10.
10 boas?
I have 5 pairs.
Oh my gosh. Are you
only one adult though?
Okay, that was my next question.
2 years or younger.
Okay. So they'll be ready to go and like when they're 4 or 5 years old, probably.
Yeah, with the common Colombians, they can go. Females, it's about 4 years typically, a minimum.
Mm-hmm.
There's some rumor that males can go as to 2 years.
Yeah,
or a year and a half.
Sure.
Which we'll find out. I'll have a boy that's be 2 in August. We'll see if he'll pair to that girl I had, that big girl I got.
Yeah, I would think it 2 years for a.
I think he'll be fine. He's good size.
Yeah.
So.
And this boy is super close. I mean, he might be ready to go right now at 600 grams, but
I have everything paired up right now, so it won't be until next
season.
Yeah, the end of the year.
Yeah,
I'll have to reevaluate.
Okay. So where are we at here? So, all right. So you've got the bag. I'm trying to think before I.
Okay.
Is there anything else? That bag. Okay. We're good. Let's see.
Amy super chat.
Oh, Amy did super chat. You didn't finish reading my text. There were more messages for Erica. I need you to relay. All right. Hang on. Where are we at? It says, hi, Erica. Hey, did you see the super chat from Trey? All right, we got that. Brady distracted me. Okay, we got that. Also tell Erica I said she's the coolest. And Colin says hi to Bobby B. Cool. And because they're all siblings. Your Amy's 2 snakes are siblings to your snake. Let's see. I know you're busy, but pay attention to me, she says. You're missing super chats, she says, from me and Tara. All right.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that says things like that to you.
Yeah. Okay, so I missed one of Tara's also. Is that what happened? Yes. Oh, Tara, thanks for the super chat. I bet you have a question that you put. Yeah, here we go. I told Naomi that her brother is on TV. She's super unimpressed. Told Naomi that her brother is on TV. Oh, because this is the, oh, right. I can't believe she's super unimpressed. Yeah. So Naomi is Ben's sister. I was, the TV confused me, but you're probably watching this on your TV, so I get it. Thanks for the super chat. Did I miss any others? I think we're good. Okay, there we go. Here's one. L&J ball pythons. What can I do to eliminate the rat smell in the room after feeding? Window does not open. How many are you feeding live or frozen thawed? And how many rats are there? I don't usually have a rat smell after feeding, but I'm feeding frozen thawed, and I'm not feeding everybody on the same day, so it's not like I have a massive bucket of rats in the room. I would say open a door. If it were me, I would open a door. I think, if you're bringing live rats home from the pet store, oftentimes they smell like live rats from the pet store. That's a pungent odor. The rats from Lane Labs that I get do not smell like that, fortunately. There definitely is a smell. Like when you hit them with a hair dryer, there's a smell, but it doesn't permeate like the bedding that you're getting when you get a live rat.
It dissipates pretty quickly.
Yeah. It goes away fast. All right, Q. Thanks for joining us. Okay, back to this. By the way, I might not get through all these today, and that's all right. We'll get them on the next one. I'll save it, and we'll do it on the next one. But I'll keep going here. Oh, we're almost at the bottom of this page. Allison has a 2-part question. Do you have a favorite morph/morph combo, and do you have a favorite snake out of your collection? I don't have a favorite snake. They're all my favorite. Whoever I happen to be holding at the time is my favorite. I like pied in just about everything, and I love freeway combos. I think those are favorite morphs. I like Orange Dream. I like a good Orange Dream snake. Orange is a cool color. Let's see. If snake, do you drink whiskey?
I haven't tried it for probably about 15 years, but I'm down to try it.
Really?
A little taster.
You're probably gonna hate it. All right, we're gonna do it. And then I'm gonna get to Wendy's question. Wendy has a long question. I'm gonna get to it in a second. And you know what? Red breast is a good one. If you're not a whiskey drinker, you don't want to just go in for any old whiskey. You want to make sure that it has a relatively low ABV, which Redbreast is only 40% alcohol. So you don't want like barrel proof, whatever. And I've
never had good whiskey before either. What I did try was always cheap. It was back in my 20s when I was going to the bar.
Yeah, well, don't shoot it like you probably did back then.
Can't do that anymore.
Yeah. You might still hate it. It might still taste like fire in your mouth. Because if you're not used, like if your mouth isn't used to it, you're not gonna.
Well, I'll try not to joke.
You may love it though. Who knows? I don't want to say how you're gonna feel about it. What do you think?
It's a little bit like fire, but it's not bad.
Okay. All right.
Not bad.
Okay, that's good. Taylor says Lane Labs has fantastic frozen thawed rats. Pretzel loves it. That's great. Yes, Lane Labs does. I got to order from them tomorrow for sure. I got to put an order in. But so you guys ordering from Lane Labs, the code has changed because they I think we used those discount codes have a number of uses, and we blew through the number of uses, which is fantastic. So they changed it to green 10, and that's the new code, green 10 with no spaces. Let's see. All right. So back to Wendy's question. If snakes were omnivores, what do you think they would enjoy snacking on? I think that they would enjoy snacking on rats. if they were omnivores, but you wouldn't be able to have a bioactive enclosure because they'd eat the plants. They wouldn't just crush the plants, they would eat them. If you could do one of your Introducing Snakes to Nervous People series with someone famous, who would you pick? Dan Levy. Eugene Levy. Dan Levy of Schitt's Creek, because his reactions would be the best. So good. Do you guys watch that show? If you watch that show and you know Dan Levy, you totally get what I'm saying. Wendy asks, would you ever want to keep aquatic snakes like an elephant trunk snake? No. And the only reason is I don't want to have an aquatic setup, but I think elephant trunk snakes are crazy looking and they're awesome and they're pretty cute. But I kind of want to be able to hang out with my snakes, you know, and you can hang out a little bit with an elephant trunk snake, but you got to put them back in the water. So what changes do you think we'll see in snake husbandry in the next few years? I think that, I mean, we're not going to see a ton of major changes in husbandry, but I think we're going to see more hobbyist breeders that are giving more options to the snakes that they keep, rather than, you know, I think what's happened in the past is that hobbyist breeders with a small group of snakes, like I have, they might start watching YouTube channels of the big breeders, and the big breeders are doing it right. They have healthy snakes and they're doing really well, but they're doing it the way you have to do it if you have 100, 200, 500, 1,000 snakes. You've got to do minimalistic everything so that you can get through all those snakes and make sure that they are healthy and fed and clean. And you don't have to do it that minimalistically if you have less than, say, 50 snakes. You can do more. So I think people are realizing that they can do more. And I think that's cool. Who would you pick to join your perfect dream band, and what kind of music would you play? Edie Brickell, because have you heard her album with Steve Martin, where Steve Martin wrote a bunch of banjo music that's really good, because he's like one of the top 5 banjo players in the world. In case you didn't know that, he's fantastic. And he had Edie Brickell do all the lyrics and the singing, and it's fantastic. And it's called, I can't remember what the album's called, but I have it and it's great. So it would be her, along with a band who could cover up all the mistakes that I'm making. All right. Sam Williams has a whiskey question. I was gifted a bottle of Maker's Mark and I really like it. What are your thoughts on it? So Maker's Mark, I haven't had in a long time. And I always say that I don't really like it, but it's not that I don't like it. It's that, so Maker's Mark is a great whiskey for someone who doesn't drink a lot of whiskey, because it's not super complex and it's easy to drink. It's not a hard one to drink. So people who don't normally drink whiskey will drink it, and they'll usually say that it's smooth, which I think smooth is a weird descriptive word, because it doesn't really mean much except that didn't hurt when I drank it. That's, I think, what most people mean when they say smooth. And Maker's Mark is that. But once you start getting used to that, you go, oh, I like Maker's Mark, this is good, and you start trying others, you might find whiskeys that have more complexity and more flavors and things like that come out. But I also haven't had Maker's in a very long time, so I should try it to see if I like it. Darth Yoda says that Maker's is good for mixing because it's way sweet. Yeah, so that might be why I don't like it, because I don't like super sweet whiskeys. Bourbons. I don't like super sweet and oaky bourbons. And the thing with bourbon is it's always aged in a new oak barrel, which brings all the oak flavor really heavily into it. So a lot of bourbons are too oaky for me. Okay.
Can I move this over just a hair?
Yeah, you can sit too. You don't have to stand right there the whole time.
Standing.
Let's see. Yeah, do whatever you want. You can move that over there and sit, whatever you want to do.
Oh, I don't one hand right now, so.
You want me to take him?
No, it's all right.
Yeah.
This,
Okay.
this works. It's good.
Okay. Chibi Peach isn't bourbon whiskey. Yes, it is. Scotch, Irish whiskey. So I'm drinking Irish right now. We're both drinking Irish right now. Scotch is whiskey. Bourbon is whiskey. Tennessee whiskey. Corn whiskey. There's a bunch of whiskey, and bourbon is just one type of it. Jennifer Lyle is saying Makers isn't whiskey, it's bourbon. But we just talked about that. So yeah, it is bourbon. The thing about there are rules in making your whiskey to be able to call it bourbon. And here's an interesting little fact, is that Jack Daniel's is Tennessee whiskey. They're calling themselves Tennessee whiskey, but they actually meet all the standards to be able to call themselves bourbon. And because of some sort of marketing thing, they think that it's better to call it Tennessee whiskey, which they totally can, rather than bourbon. But it is technically a bourbon. They just don't call it that. So yeah, Darth Yoda is saying that bourbon has to be 51% or more corn mash. That's right, the mash bill. It also has to spend time in a new American oak barrel, but the time isn't stated. So you could literally dump the whiskey through an American oak barrel, and technically that's bourbon. There are some other things as far as the alcohol the percentage of alcohol that it's distilled at, the percentage of alcohol that it's bottled at. I don't remember the thing. Minimum 4 years. Darth Yoda is reminding me. Yeah, so bourbon is always at least 4 years old, but it could be older than that. So yeah, there's a number of things. Have I missed any other super chats? Yeah. Okay. So that's a confusing thing. A lot of people, because it's called bourbon, it's called Scotch. Those are all under the umbrella of whiskey. They're just types of whiskey. So Tara says, thanks for the super chat, Tara. I'm a wimp. I have to have flavor in my whiskey. I like honey or maple and seltzer. Congratulations on your new baby, Erica. So happy for you. Oh, that's great. Yeah, a lot of people, I drink whiskey neat. That's not easy to do for a lot of people. So some people like flavored whiskey, and whiskey's good in cocktails also. I just don't do cocktails very much. Fizzy loves your shirt.
Thanks.
Okay. Where are we at? So here's one from Tara. Tara, who just super chatted, but she also asked a question on Patreon. I would love to hear more about snake biology, things from their pink bellies before shed is mentioned. Let's see, what are their spines like? Various body parts. How do their teeth work? What about their eyes? So all these things. Actually, now that I think about it, can you do an entire video on this subject? Yes, probably. Yes. Okay. Paul Seibel says, do you think our snakes know we clean their enclosures, or do you think they just magically, or do they think it just magically happens after we pick them up and before we put them back? Well, let's see, because I think I have proof of this. Let's just see if Stella knows that I'm cleaning her enclosure. And it seems like she does. It seems like she knows. So, Stella knows. I think some snakes don't know, but Stella definitely knows when something's going on in her enclosure. In fact, let's hang on.
She was out earlier.
Let's see. Can I move you over to here? I think she's. Oh, is she not around?
She was out when I got here.
Yeah. Let's just see what she does. Now she's coming out. Hi, you want to come out? She's in her whiskey sleeve right now. Oh, you know what we can do? Watch this. Hi. This is me. It's not food. There we go. Stella's whiskey sleeve. Thanks to Amy Bentley for getting Stella this whiskey sleeve. And then I just was able to keep the bottle that came in this whiskey sleeve. Yes, that came in the whiskey sleeve. Hey, did you want to come out or no? So I'm just going to leave her and we'll see if she comes out. I startled her because as I was opening the door, I accidentally bumped her nose. You know, people on TikTok and Instagram that like snakes, but they're not snake keepers. They request that I boop all the snoots. They're big time snoot boopers. They think that that's the best thing to do for a snake. And it's really not. That is not a nice thing to do because I just accidentally did it to Stella and she was not happy about it. Sorry, babes. Did you want to come out? Look, here's me. She was it's a little weird for her. She usually doesn't get picked up while in her little box. Oh, you know what we're going to do? I have an idea. Why don't you put you can put them in the bag or just put them back? Whatever you want. You can put them in the bag or in the. I'm going to put her right up here. One of the things, and I'm going to cover this when I do a new free roaming video, but one thing that I try not to do is mix species. So Handsome Dan is over here right now. And so I wouldn't put one of the ball pythons or Stella on in that area. Here's Stella coming out now. Oh, now the mic is blocking it. Hi. You want to come down so that people can see you? You're literally right behind the mic. Come here. Let's do this. I have an idea. Let's showcase you this way. We're going to put you. Here she is. We're going to put you right there. Okay. And then we'll see what trouble she gets into because she was in all kinds of trouble earlier today. I mean, just in that she wouldn't stop moving. She wouldn't stop trying to go to the ground. I had to hold her with one hand while I was doing a ton of other stuff earlier today. She's a little crazy. All right. I haven't looked at the comments for a while. What am I missing? Okay. Yep, we're missing a few. Hold on. Let's see. So Chibi Peach, thanks for the super chat. Is buying a snake in order to feed it the rat your other snake refused and therefore no life is wasted a good excuse to get one? Yes. Yes, it is. If you're getting a snake that will just eat the rat so it's not wasted, absolutely get that second snake for sure. And if you have any other reason to get a second snake, use that as your reason. You know, whatever you like. It's helpful. You know, when I only had a few snakes, I wasted rats a lot more than I do now. Rarely does a rat get wasted at this point. Matthew, thanks for the super chat. Just got here. Did you talk about the inspector's bioactive yet? I'm a plant nerd and want to compare plant choices. Oh, I think, did you ask me this in, hang on. Somebody did. Yes, you did. We're getting to that. We're getting to your question. You know what? I'll answer it now though, since you super chatted. What do I have in here? I've got a, I want to say that's a Swiss cheese vine, but it's not. It doesn't have any holes in it, but it's some kind of vine. And I got a pothos. Wait, this is a type of pothos. I don't even know if you can see this very well. Hang on. Let's get. So that's a pothos. The thing back there is some other kind of plant. And there's a vine down there. That's the best I can do to identify the 4 plants, is give you the name of one of them and then tell you that there's 3 others. So vines are good. You know, I always check. I always know the name of the plant before I put it in there, and I've checked to make sure it's safe for snakes, and then I forget it later. But vines are usually pretty good. They're usually pretty sturdy. Pothos, there's all kinds of different pothos, and those are generally pretty good. There are plants like this. Check this out. This came from the inspector's Bioactive, and I clipped it before he could kill it, and now I have a couple of them potted. But this is kind of a fuzzy leaf, and it's just not super strong, so he'll kill it immediately. So they're just potted plants now. But heavy-bodied snakes are not good for plants. I think Bioactive is fun to do, but it's an ongoing experiment, and they're not always good for plants. The inspector does pretty well. He goes around the plant. I plant around his sort of pathway, but he also, especially during breeding season, he might throw a fit and start throwing his body around just to be a crazy person, and he might kill a plant that's lived great for a year or so in there. So that's that. Okay. Where are we at here? Lee says this story came up on BBC. She linked to a news story this morning. Might be an interesting thing to cover. I know you've mentioned this kind of thing with regards to taking snakes to fairs. I thought it was interesting and a bit sad that the council's first response was call the police. Yeah. So this was an article from Scotland about a man who was taking his snake, or maybe snakes, to the park, and people were outraged and wanted to call the cops and wanted to complain to the city. And other people were like, you guys, it's just a snake. Don't worry about it. Like, it's fine. And the thing is, I did a video a long time ago. I might do an updated video on this. Stella on the camera. I did a video about my thoughts on taking your snake out in public. And the problem is that not everybody likes snakes. And a lot of people are very afraid of snakes. And you forcing them to deal with their fear at a time that they're not ready to do that is not going to help them with their fear, in my opinion. So Stella is going from that camera that you're seeing her on, and she's crawling now onto the other camera, and that's going to be a problem. Hey, can you not do that, please? Here. Can you do something else? Thanks. All right. So yeah, that's a bummer. But I don't think that snakes should be brought out into the general public. Usually. Unless it's a sanctioned event where people know that snakes are going to be out there. Matthew, thanks for the super chat. Stella just pulled your super chat off. This is a super chat talking about you, lady. Will you get off my computer, please? Can we get you off the computer? Matthew says, just want to say I love Stella. I love Stella too. She is nuts, and in a good way. She's great. Okay. So Sherry is saying when she puts her snake back in the enclosure, she'll hook her neck and head into a side and refuse to go in. And if by chance I get her in, she just moves up and down the glass, bumping her nose. I interpret this as, Mom, I don't want to be in here yet. So if time permits, I'll bring her back out and let her play on the bedspread for a while. And then she'll go in, no problem. Am I guessing correctly? Does anyone else have a snake that exhibits this behavior? Yeah, sometimes, I think sometimes snakes genuinely don't want to go back in their enclosure because they would rather be out. You know, we grab them from somewhere they were comfortable and we force them to go back in their enclosure. They don't necessarily like that. But there's also a situation where they don't necessarily know where they are yet. Sometimes it takes them a minute. I've talked about this in recent videos. Sometimes it takes a snake a minute to figure out where they are. And if you plop them down into their enclosure, they might just start trying to get away because they don't know where they are and they would just want to get away. And they just need a moment to figure out where they are. So in Stella's case, she often doesn't want to go back in her enclosure because she spends a lot of the day, she and Echo both spend a lot of the day out roaming around. They're allowed to do that. And, but sometimes I have to put them back because I'm leaving or I need to do some work. And Stella's, you know, sometimes Stella's great when she's out. She can be out all day. And sometimes she just causes trouble all day and I have to put her back. And so she knows when I'm putting her back and she will protest. So I try to keep her out as much as I can, you know. All right. Here we go. Let's see. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything over here. I did miss one, at least one. We'll see if there's any others. Austin says, hey, Bob, issues with my rack. The THG heat tape is only heating my top tubs to 80, though the bottom is 92 with thermometer. Any ideas to fix this? That's a tough one because heat tape is weird sometimes. It may require a replacement of the heat tape. Did Clint by chance answer this? Clint might have a better, because I know that Clint with Black Box is in right now. He's going to have a better answer for you than I would. But all I can say is that maybe the heat tape needs to be replaced. But that's a problem with racks is that, you know, you set your probe in you know, hopefully the middle tub on the rack, and you set it, but your bottom is not going to necessarily be the same as your top. So you kind of have to do a happy medium situation. Okay. Hold on one second. Erica, don't feel like you have to stay. I know you're hanging out with Handsome Dan and having a good time, but don't feel like you get
less traffic the longer I stay.
Okay. All right. Let's see if I missed anything else.
I'm going to try to put the live stream on so I can see the text. So try to mute it quickly.
Okay, cool.
If it comes up.
Okay. All right. So Miriam says, if you were to be reincarnated as a snake, what kind / morph would you be? And would you be wild or captive? And also, if you could pick your name, what would your name be? So I feel like I'd want to be a retic, probably just a normal retic. And I would say I would rather be captive, like in a zoo. I don't want to be captive in some crappy keepers situation because there's a lot of bad keepers, but in a zoo, I would be totally happy. Thanks for redirecting. And here's the thing. Snakes don't know what their other option is when they're captive, but the other option is you're wild and you're being attacked by everything. Maybe not once you're a massive retic, you might not be attacked by everything, but getting to that size, you're attacked by everything. And you have a million parasites always. So you're being attacked from the inside. You're being attacked from the outside. These snakes, you know, if they make it to adulthood, have scars all over their bodies, you know, because they're always fighting. And captive snakes have kind of a cushy life, as long as it's a good captive. You want to hand me that little glass thing and all? That is the only plant that she could easily knock over. Thanks. My little propagation vine. Hang on. So I would say that, but if I was in the wild, and I think this would be cool because I don't think that these particular snakes have that situation. They might have parasites though. I would, in the wild, I would want to be a Boelen's python, because a Boelen's, in the area that they're in, they're living in the top of a mountain. Do you want any more of this?
Sure. Oh, a little bit. I didn't want her to knock it over.
Yeah. Boelen's are living in the mountains of Papua New Guinea, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, somebody. They're living up in the mountains, and they don't have any predators really up there. They are the apex predator. There's nothing really attacking them. Maybe when they're babies, there's birds grabbing them, possibly. But from what I've heard from Ari, who goes up there and spends time studying them in the wild, they're just out, and he can sit down next to a mama and pick her up and put her in his lap, and she's tame and not bothered by it because they're just not used to getting attacked. It's just not a thing that they're worried about, which I think is really cool. So I'd want to be a Boelen's python. That was a long answer, but it allowed me to talk about Boelen's pythons, and that's cool. Hi, what are you doing? Are you coming over to see me? Hi, come on over. Come on over so I can get you on camera. Okay, so while Stella is joining me. Oh, what would my name be? Johnny Bravo. Okay, Ruth Young says, are you done seeing me? Don't be on my computer, please. So Ruth Young says, I bought a dog exercise pen, put her in there a couple times. A lady told me that ball pythons don't want enrichment. They just want to be in their hides and come out once or twice a week. Did I waste my money? That's a great question, Ruth, and a loaded one, because I think you know the answer. You did not waste your money, but you will hear people say that. And the thing is, that woman's coming from a place of experience, probably, and I'll tell you in a second. Try not to drink water right into the microphone. So I can imagine that woman has bought snakes from big breeders who maybe kept their snake in a dark tub and didn't give it any enrichment or anything. And she brought that snake home, and because she was told that ball pythons are pet rocks, she keeps it the same way. Even in a vivarium, she might keep it in a vivarium with hides and not ever give it any other experiences. And in that case, a ball python will hide most of the time. And I mean, especially they all have different personalities, but hang on, I'm trying to keep things away from Stella as she moves around. But some snakes will do that, and that is the result of a ball python who has not had the opportunity to experience enrichment and things like that. In the wild, that's how a ball python is going to be. They're going to be in their burrow almost always. They're not going to just go out for a stroll because they're going to be attacked by everything. So in captivity, hi, are you trying to, your body, I think, is a little too heavy for this mic. You can climb on my hat though. So in captivity, a ball python will tend to act like that if all they know is the inside of their tub. They're going to think that outside their tub is predators. They're going to be fearful when you open that tub and change their water or something like that. They might strike, or at least get into a fearful posture because they don't know what's out there because they haven't really been out there. So I can see where people think that, but it's not true. Enrichment is great for them, especially if you're a pet keeper and have the time and resources to work with your animal. Okay, hang on. I'm going to switch your view here because Stella has obviously left the situation. Hey, we're on the last page, you guys. We are going to get through all these today. We are going to get through all these. This one, hang on, who's this from? Oh, this is from Kelly. Kelly says, I'd be interested in talking more about morphs. I know you did a video, but I'm still researching what patterns and colors each morph can give depending on co-dominant and dominant genes. I'm a visual learner, so maybe we could see some of your snakes patterns and you can point out what specific characteristics you see for their particular morph. I hope this makes sense. Yes, we can do that. Maybe in a separate video, we'll do a little bit of that. People ask me about morph a lot, and I know fairly well the morphs that I work with. By fairly well, I mean kind of well sometimes. I'm just not much of a morph guy, but I can tell you what, if I have a snake that's has a certain genetic situation, I can tell you what I'm seeing in that snake. And that's always helpful to do. It's probably time to do another genetics video anyway. So I'll put that on the list to do. But I feel like I'm more of a behavior guy than a morph guy. Even though I like morphs, I love seeing what certain genes do to other genes and what the babies look like when they crawl out. What's that? Oh, is it Yoli? Come on in, Yoli. Hi. Is that? You're so sweet. You guys.
I get to be on live stream.
Yeah, you can come say hi. Look at what Yoli's made me. This is my neighbor Yoli, and McKenna, who you've seen in the video, is hers. Hi, McKenna.
Hi, everybody.
And you made me dinner. You're the sweetest. It's so nice. I'm not going to eat it on the live stream though. We just put it on the thing over there. Yoli, you're the best. This is Erica, by the way.
Would you like a turkey burger?
Okay, thank you.
You're so sweet. Thanks, Yoli. I'm getting a ton of texts. They might be from Amy. Oh, they are. Let's see. I will tell Yoli that you said all these things, Amy. Amy said, so first of all, your mom didn't super chat, but her last message is great. Just wanted to make sure you saw it. Oh, I didn't see it, but that might have been a while ago. I'll see it tomorrow when I go through the chats. You missed a super chat from Austin. Did I though, or did I finally catch it? Hang on. Okay, yeah, no, I caught that one. Yeah, got that one. Okay. And then Amy says, Yoli. Hi, Yoli. Hi, McKenna. I love you, Yoli. Damn, I missed her. That was a string of texts that I just got from Amy. Amy and Yoli have hung out quite a bit when Amy comes to the green room. Sorry, I didn't show McKenna on camera. Hey, you know what? You were dropping my mic, young lady. And I feel like you might get pinched as this thing moves. Can you let go of it, please? Look at that. Go escape up there. Oh, yeah, go escape because I'm messing with you. You don't want me messing with you. Go escape. There you go. Okay. Yoli is the best neighbor to have. I mean, she's also one of my very closest friends. So, but she does, like, she'll just bring me lunch. She'll know that I'm in here editing or something, and she'll go, here, I made you lunch, or here, I made you dinner. So nice. Okay. Where are we at? Was I in the middle of a question, or hang on? Okay, so there's Matthew's question, which we answered before about the plants. Kathy says, my ball python is very precocious at 1 year. Any reasons as to why when they reach adulthood, they might become shy? So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't really know what the reason is. I just know that it happens sometimes. And they just, their personalities will shift as they grow and change. These snakes live a long time. So it's not even like, oh, they're really outgoing as a baby and then they became an adult and now they're shy. It's that they're going to have a period of time where they're outgoing and then a period of time where they might be more shy and then they might become more outgoing. I just said this in a video. I think it's the most recent one that's coming out next week, but I'll say it here as well. Ron is a great example. Ron was really shy when I got him. For 2 years. He was in his hide all the time. And I've mentioned in videos that he doesn't come out very much because I don't see him out of his hide. And I don't want to always pull a snake out of their hide just so they can come out and play. That's not really a good way to handle enrichment. But now his personality in the last few months has shifted where he's out of his hide a lot in the early morning, dusk and dawn, you know, when ball pythons are kind of supposed to be crepuscular. He's out of his hide a lot more. And when I open his tub, he comes out. He'll come out onto my hand. He'll come out, explore around. So he's shifted a little bit. And there might be a time that he goes back to being more shy. So it just happens. It's kind of cool. You get different personalities sometimes in your ball pythons. Now, in other species, like if Stella all of a sudden became shy, I would think there's something wrong, because I don't expect her to change her personality that drastically. You know, she's such a crazy snake, and retics are just kind of generally like this. They're usually not shy. So, I mean, I shouldn't say that. If a retic isn't worked with, they're going to be defensive, you know, but, I guess that's a manifestation of shyness, defensiveness, but I wouldn't expect her to all of a sudden just be hiding constantly, you know? So there's that. We're getting to the end of this, you guys. I knew this was going to be a long live stream. We're at the 2-hour mark right now. I'm okay with that. We're going to keep going. I kind of planned for a longer one.
That's average.
Yeah. 2 hours is average for this is about the time that I'm like, you guys, we're going to end this thing, but we've got some questions left and maybe more shenanigans. I haven't even done the Patreon boards yet. So, we're just in the, so I hope you're doing other things. I hope you're not just watching me talk, because could get boring. I guess it's not boring if Stella's causing shenanigans while I'm talking. Hey, will you not do that right now? Okay, let's get to where are we at? Kelly says, is it okay to take your snakes out during the day? We've only taken our girl out for short periods of time at night. How long can they stay out at a time? Those types of things that new owners like us aren't sure on. Yeah, that's a big question for new owners, because it's really hard to tell. You know, you've got a snake, especially if you haven't had a snake before, you don't really understand their body language, and you're just looking for somebody to tell you what the rule is. And it's tough. I would say that the rule when you don't know your snake is to handle them 3 times a week for 15 minutes at a time. But that is, that's kind of until you get to know your snake. Your snake could be, your snake could get stressed. You know, if you're starting to understand what the signs of stress are, or your snake's running from you a lot, it's time to put them back. Probably, your snake might be doing really well, and then they can be out for longer. You might notice that they're out of their hide at a certain time each day, and you start to open their enclosure. And if they take advantage of that open enclosure and choose to come out, then they maybe can be out more than a few times a week, you know? So it just takes a little bit of time to get to know your individual snake. It's tough to give a general rule that works for all snakes. Even if the snake is the same species, that's not going to be the same individual. Fizzy says, can you talk about the best spots to place a thermostat probe for use with a CHE? My enclosure currently is a glass aquarium with tinfoil tape covering most of the screen. Yeah, so I'll just show you. It's so for any, hang on, let me make sure. She's okay. I'll just let me know if she gets to the ground and I'll grab her. So in the inspector's enclosure here, I know the mic's in the way. I'll move it. Hang on. So there we go. All right. So I have an overhead heat situation. It's not a CHE, but it's the same thing as far as overhead heat. And my probe is about halfway down the wall. It's behind this piece of wood, but it's about halfway down the wall under the heat situation. And that doesn't mean that I'm not trying to make the probe read 90. I don't care what the probe reads. I just need my hide in here to read 90. So if the hide reads 90, the probe might be in 96. That's okay. You know, I don't know what it is actually, but you just want the probe in a spot where your snake isn't going to dislodge it. So I know a lot of people like to put the probe on the floor, like on the ground where the snake sits. The problem is they can easily dislodge that. And if they're sitting on top of the probe, all of a sudden the heat that's coming down from above isn't hitting the probe. And so it's going to keep, hang on, I got to save Stella. Is she good?
Yeah, she saw I was watching her. She
Oh, okay.
stopped.
All right. She's good. She's good. So if your snake sits on the probe and covers it, your heat element is going to think that it's not hot enough. So it's going to keep heating. Same thing if the snake pulls the probe off. Snakes are strong. They could wrap around that thing and pull it off, even if you have a little glue on it or something. And if they dislodge it, same thing is going to happen. You're going to end up with a massive overheat situation. So it's best to keep that probe away from the snake. Q says, what are all the differences you've experienced between the different species you keep? Based on those differences, if you had to choose one species to keep, which one would it be and why? Lastly, why exactly do we call ourselves a keeper instead of an owner when talking about keeping reptiles? I think I'll answer that one first. A lot of people call themselves owner. I don't. I think it's weird. I feel like, I don't know. Owner seems rude to me. I don't know. I don't know why, but it does. We don't say that we keep dogs, but we do say that we keep snakes because there's a certain thing that we have to do. Like there's certain environmental stuff that we have to do. And it's kind of, it's like a hobby. It's not a hobby to keep dogs or cats because those are just domestic animals, but it is a hobby. How's Stella doing over there?
She's acting like she's trying to go behind this.
All right.
So
Hang on.
probably. Yeah.
Hey, come here, crazy. Thanks for.
She doesn't know me, so I didn't want to grab her.
Yeah, no, that's probably good. Okay. So we'll see what she does. I'll give her a little reset. She'll probably go right back where she was. So differences. There's a lot of differences. Ball pythons tend to be more shy. They are a snake that you can oftentimes just sit with in your lap and chill with. I think boas are the same way. Would you say that with boas?
They're halfway between a retic
and a ball python. Okay, so
they're more active.
Yeah, more so. So retics are way more active. A retic is never going to curl up in my lap and watch a movie with me. Boas are a little bit more active. Handsome Dan, I only have one boa, so it's tough for me to say what boas are like. But you have how many? 10. 10's probably enough to say what boas are like. So you're saying
similar to Handsome Dan. I'd say it's halfway in between.
Yeah, halfway in between.
Some of them are a little more active, but they're pretty calm. They just move more than ball pythons.
Yeah. Most snakes that are not a ball python will eat every time you try to feed them. I would say that black-headed pythons are always looking for food, but again, I only have one, so I can't say what they're all about. They're not as interactive as retics, but they are still always moving. So Stella wants to know what's going on with me. She wants to crawl onto me and stuff like that, and then she'll leave. I don't think black-headed pythons care so much. They're never afraid. Like Maya is never afraid of me. She's never defensive. She's okay with being handled, but she's also okay with going off on her own. And I think they require a little bit more exercise because they get more exercise in the wild. They are coming out of their burrow in the morning and spending the day cruising around looking for food, actively hunting for food. Whereas most other pythons are ambush predators. They're finding a spot to hang out and wait for food. Amy, am I missing stuff? Mom said, by the way, number one son, I'm out of chocolates. And did you get the super chat from Austin? I think I got the super chat from Austin. Did I? Hey, get out of my whiskey, Stella. Did I? I think I got the super chat from Austin. I don't think I missed anything. That was a while back that Mom said that. So, Mom, I can't believe you're out of chocolates already, but okay. Actually, it was a while ago that I got you that massive thing of chocolates. All right, noted. Where are we at? We're almost done with these. Oh, I've said this before, but I will say that of the species that I currently keep, if I could only keep one species, they told me, the government came in and said you can only have one species of snake. For me, it would be a retic. It would be a super dwarf, not a mainland, but a super dwarf retic. I'm not saying that that's the right snake for everybody, but I do like the interactiveness of a retic. But I also love just grabbing a ball python and hanging out with them for a little bit, throwing them around my neck. Stella would never stay around my neck. She's going to want to leave all the time. I always have to be manipulating her or redirecting her or letting her go wherever she wants to go. Ball pythons are a lot more chill, but I would say if I had to pick one, it would be the retic. But I love them all. They all have different things that are great about them as a species and as individuals. Where are we at? Hang on. Oh, Amy's confirming that I did address the super chat. Okay, great. So I'm not missing any super chats at this point. We have two questions left. Azara says, what is the best way of starting to free roam your snake? I'm so worried he'll hide somewhere and that he'll get hurt. Yeah, so I have that video. I have a video right now about how to set up a room to allow for free roaming. And I'm going to do another video that covers some of the same stuff, but I'm going to get more specific about things. I think a lot of people, especially on like Instagram and TikTok, they think that my snakes just live out in the room all the time. They think that, when I free roam my snakes, I'm not supervising them. I'm just letting them do whatever they want, whenever they want. And that's not the case at all. So I want to be clear about all that kind of stuff. And the best way of starting to free roam your snake is to do it very supervised. Set up your room so there's nothing dangerous, but then know where your snake is all the time. Don't just let them out and then leave the room. I have Echo and Stella free roaming a lot during the day, but I always know where they are. If I have a snake out and I'm editing, I'm constantly looking up and making sure I know where they are. So there's a lot of supervision that goes on with the word free roaming. The only snakes that truly free roam when I let them out, where I can let them out and then I generally know where they are, but I don't care, like whatever, is my biggest female ball pythons. Damara can be out all day and it doesn't matter. I know where she's going to be. But if she comes out of there, I'm going to see her. Like she's the size of a dog. So I'm going to see her if she goes somewhere. Whereas Stella here, if she goes to the ground, I might not see her out of the corner of my eye and she might get stepped on. So I want to know where she is at all times. And then our last question comes from Wayne the Distracted. Hi, Bob, longtime listener, first-time caller. Are urates easy to spot on substrate? Yes, they are white. They look like bird poop. And substrate is usually dark, depending on what you're using. I think it's less easy to spot on aspen, but yeah, it's white, So, hey, I got you, lady. That's it for the Patreon people, you guys. I think what we're going to do is, first of all, I'm going to put Stella back because she's a little crazy right now. And then where's my, oh, right here. Okay. So let's, you know what? Maybe I won't. Maybe we'll do that. Let's just see what she does if, hey. All right. I'm going to put her on the tree. How's he doing?
I'm trying to pull my hat off. You can go back though.
Yeah, go ahead and put him back if you want. Is his tub shut? Oh, it is. Hang on. Hold on 1 second, you guys. This one, yeah. He's happy to hang on to his ball. There we go. Okay. All right. And Stella's on her tree for the time being. We'll see how long she stays on that. And let's get Miss Tiger Lily. And we'll put her on the, let me just rearrange a few things here. I just almost spilled my water. Let's get Tiger Lily in here. She's been up and moving around a lot more. I've been giving her Da Vinci Boa for the last month. I've been giving her weekly doses of Da Vinci Boa to try to get her appetite back. And she's been off food for a while now. And she's fine. I mean, she's not thin. But I would like her to eat better. So she's getting Da Vinci Boa, but look at how much higher white she is. For those of you who have watched Tiger Lily since she hatched, those of you who are fans of Tiger Lily might be able to tell that her calico is creeping up even more. She used to be, right now she is yellow. She's pretty dark yellow on her back, but that used to be more on her sides. But that calico is taking over. She's super pretty. She's a cool snake. All right, let me fix Stella's cage really quick. Excuse my back for a moment. All right. So she's set up to go back when she next gets herself in trouble. Hi. Did you find your basket? And then I wonder what Dolly's up to, because Dolly's out too. Hey, you can go out and say hi to your sister. There we go. Tiger Lily was periscoping, but she was doing it right off camera, which is such a bummer because it was very cute. And there goes her sister just into a hide. Dolly also didn't take a meal last night, which is okay. She usually takes her meals, but she didn't last night. So we'll see how those two do in the little snake condo. What have I been missing here in the chat? Anything? Probably a ton of stuff.
No super chats.
No super chats. Okay. So I think this is a good time. This is a good time to do this. Here's the Horde of Keepers. Look at, here's Erica right here.
Who's that?
That's you.
Oh.
Right there.
Oh.
See how big, see how I had to do an extension to the board
I feel special.
to get your, yes.
I feel special. Thank you.
Well, there's somebody else that's special too, because I've had to do 2 extensions.
Well, when I switch to my business name, then it'll be shorter. Okay.
It'll be short. Well, I'm not taking down the extension. So.
Oh.
Okay.
I'll leave it there.
Well, if it's your business name, you want that on the board. So maybe I will take down the extension. So here's another one with an extension. Tiffany has 3 names, 3 long names that required an extension. But you know what? I'm willing to do that for the folks over on Patreon. So we're having fun over there. There have been a couple of big announcements recently on Patreon, and we're playing the D&D, which is cool. There's only, I think, 6 or 7 of us right now doing D&D, but we're going to get several games going at once over on Discord. That sounds confusing for people who don't use Discord or Patreon, but Discord is free to be on the Green Room Python's Discord server. It's just that if you're a Patreon member, there are some rooms that will open up that are private otherwise. So there's stuff that you can do as Patreon members on Discord that is pretty cool. There's something else that I was going to say, and I forgot. I'm watching Tiger Lily. Oh, she's doing good. I thought she was going to mess up the camera. So these Patreon supporters are supporting the channel and allowing some really cool stuff. Those secret things that I mentioned that the Patreon knows about that are happening this year would not be able to happen if it weren't for Patreon, because these are relatively expensive things for Green Room Pythons to get involved with. And, oh, I know what I was going to say. Patreon's got this new free trial thing. So if you want to, if you're thinking about doing Patreon and want to just try it for a week for free, you can go to patreon.com/greenroompythons and do a free trial for a week and see if you like it. And here's our channel sponsors: Black Box Cages, Lane Labs. Check out the new discount code for Lane Labs. Don't use the old one. And Gray Family Snakes. Gray Family Snakes, you can use the discount code, or you can just tell them that I sent you and they'll give you a discount. So it's not, they're pretty easy. Okay. Hey, Stella's actually doing pretty good. It's just chilling in her basket, which I did not expect of that snake. You can pick up Tiger Lily if you want.
I just redirected her, but it's always been my favorite.
Yeah, that's right. You like Tiger Lily. Here's all these people talking about secrets. Yeah, I'm trusting all of the Patreon people to keep these secrets under their hats. Keep them under your hats, close to the vest, whatever euphemism you say. Hayden's behind. By the time you get to this, Hayden, hi. Saying hi to Hayden in the future. Hi, future Hayden. Amy's asking if Kata is available. She's missing her soulmate. Kata is not available because Kata is in with her boyfriend right now, and they are making a mess of her tub, is what happens. So I wish Kata was available. Let me just check on the progress. I'll give you a progress report of these two. They were locked earlier today. Let's see if they still are. Yep. Yep, they are locked up. So I've done this weird thing with Kata. Kata does better on paper. She's the only ball python that I keep on paper because she does better. But I have a feeling that when she lays eggs, it's going to happen when I'm out of town. And I may not be able to move them. I may not be able to move the eggs into the incubator for a while, depending on when she lays. So I've put a bunch of substrate into in the warm end, a bunch of cocoa chip in the warm end, so that she can make that her nest. And I might have her maternally incubate. I've decided that I am going to let Freya maternally incubate, and probably Damara as well when they lay, which is going to be a fun experiment. And I might let Kata do it too. So she's got half paper. She's got crumpled up paper that she likes to hide under in the front, and she has substrate in the back. It's a weird situation. All right. I think, is there any snakes that anybody else wants to see? Some of them are not available because they just ate or they're in with Ron. But is there any other snakes that anybody wants to see? We've got, oh, look at Dolly's little face sticking out. And Erica's holding Tiger Lily right now. Those are the only two. Oh, and so we've got Stella. I always want to make sure I remember who all is out so that I don't forget anybody. But if there's anybody, let's see. Oh, Darthioda is asking to see Lucille. Yeah. Lucille ate 2 mice last night, but she's okay to come out for a minute. Oh, Mama, look at you. Come here just for a minute. Just come say hi for a minute. She's working on a digestion, but I don't think she wants to be messed with. I'm going to put her back. But there's Lucille. Here's her little smiley face emoji. She's a good mama. She laid some good eggs. Her little nose. And what a great eater she's been since she laid eggs. She's eating 2 medium mice. She still won't eat a rat, which is fine. I don't mind what she eats as long as she eats when I offer her food. And that was her biggest problem when I first got her. But now she's doing really well so far. Okay, Mama, I'll put you back. Her eggs are in the incubator, and those will just be a bunch of banana ball pythons and orange dream. I think the inspector is super orange dream and super inchy, so I think all the babies will be orange dream and inchy. The males will be banana, and there might be fire in that clutch also. And then they'll all be het pied. The inspector is not het pied or anything, so all these babies will be het for pied. So just be a nice little clutch of babies. Oh, Tari, you want to see Jenny Craig? She's available. She's not eating until I think tomorrow. And Nicole, I can't show you Kent Snake. I mean, I guess I could show you Eric the Murderer, but Anya, who is beautiful and I love showing her off, just ate a very large meal yesterday, so I don't want to pull her out. But let me grab Jenny Craig really quick. Hi, babes. So here's this beauty right here. Pretty girl. She's back to eating regular. I'm feeding her every 2 weeks, not weekly, but she's getting a regular size small rat. So a good size meal for her. She went a long time getting very small meals and getting birds, stuff like that. Let's here. Let me give you this view. You can get her over here. We got here. I tell you what. Okay. She always likes to go into a hide right away when she is out. I don't think she's as comfortable as the others. I mean, she hasn't been here as long for one thing, but I also didn't mess with her much when she was on that diet. I didn't have her out roaming about or anything. So she likes to hide, and then she'll sometimes come out though and wander around. So we'll see what she does. Okay, I'm just checking if I missed anything. I don't think I have. All right, you guys. 2 hours and 30 minutes. I feel like that is a good time to end it. That's a long live stream. I appreciate you all being here. I think I said everything that I wanted to say on that. Check out whatever episode of Snakes and the Fat Man that I'm going to be on. That it might be next week or in 2 weeks or I don't know. I don't know how I don't know when Chris schedules those, but I'm doing an interview with him tomorrow, and that should be fun. So check that out, and don't have your kids around when you watch it. I think that's it. You guys are fantastic. Thank you to Patreon for all those amazing questions. Great to see you all. I'll see you next time. Say goodbye, Erica.
Bye.
Erica said bye. All right.